So here we are looking at the new Power series of boots in the freeride boots and our Tele line. So lots new in this category, mostly though in the liner. The two things we really wanted to improve is warmth and articulation. So this new liner does both of that. As soon as you're bolting on blocks, you have some metal hardware in there, and we really wanted to insulate from that better. So we have an Aspen aerogel forebody in the toe. We have a seam sealed. We were losing some heat out of the seams actually, and so we basically made a little hot box here and a whole new construction with articulation. So it adds about 6 degrees of range of motion from what we've had in the past. Still with the BOA, one thing that we have done is loosened up kind of the range of freedom of the BOA system, where in the past it was a very finite spot that the BOA crossed over when you tighten it down, which kind of restricted that tongue from any shearing as you're going through any range of motion. It was a very tight feel. You didn't let the tongue move around. In Tele, that's really important for when it kind of gives a lot more ankle articulation. Combined with the articulation zones, the freed up tongue, it's a really different flex that we've had in the past. But for the freeride boots, mainly warmer, more range of motion for touring. And we have the Factor 130. Plastic tongue, the stiffest boot we make, and we have the Factor 110 now, which is a non-plastic tongue, a little softer compound of the P-backs, and not everybody needs that 130 flex. So the women's version is a Shiva, and this is our Power series of freeride boots. Then we have our Power series of Tele boots, custom, and the push, and the stiletto, that ankle articulation, warmer, and a smoother flex. And in the Efficient series, all these boots did get lighter, but the Seeker and the Trans got saved about 150 grams, and we have the locking touring buckles that we've had in our line of Quadrant and Prime boots that we launched last year. It increases reduces the resistance of any touring, and it's lighter, so a good more of a touring Tele 3-buckle boot. So here's the Factor 130, a pretty defining boot in our category in terms of what an alpine boot with a walk mode can do, and that's essentially how this boot is designed. The walk mode itself, we did struggle a bit through the early years of the launch of really dialing in the strength of that piece. We had some variability in the manufacturing and a few other flaws that were kicking us in the butt a little bit. So we redesigned this pin and the mechanism. It's a hardened pin, it's a longer pin. The interface with the mech bar is now perpendicular. We were on some sizes, it was 28 and above, was a little non-perpendicular, which is a pretty hard loading scenario on a pin. So we learned a lot from some of the earlier years. Now, got that behind us. Also pocketed this mechanism into a window here. So a lot of the importance of the piece was it was really torque related. Your screws had to keep that into the teeth. Now we've looked at, okay, what's the next possible mode of failure, and having those teeth maybe wear out over a long time. So we identified that, put this window in so it can't move at all. So this is the ability, nothing bothers me more than when you go up touring up, and then you're ready to get down, and you put yourself in a walk mode, and you realize, wait a minute, I'm one up, one down. I have my forward lean, one little different than the other. It needs to be binary. You can't be thinking about that. So you adjust your forward lean when you buy the boot according to your fit, your dorsiflexion, and how much, what angle you want. So this piece here, this line is in neutral, where you can have more forward lean or less forward lean. And this little keeper out here, there's two of them. This is the standard one in the middle. In your box, if you're buy this boot, you have another one which flips around, and you could have change your forward lean. So also the other things that you can customize, of course, you can always get your AT blocks. This comes with the Alpine block with some really simple screws and some slides. You can slide on the tech-compatible AT blocks. And so a lot of options for a pretty powerful alpine construction.